other one that we talked a little bit about previously was that idea, the tool of circle dot shift, the circles that I have
Yeah,
behind me.
I was going to ask you about those. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that I came up with. It's sort of a combination of, in psychology, what's called a projective tool, so a visual tool that has meaning based on what the user sees. But it actually goes beyond that because these circles have no meaning at a baseline. Meaning, what I mean by that is these could mean anything to anyone.
Hmm.
What we guide the user through, or the client through, or the person. So this could be used for a mentee, an employee, a colleague, a student, a child. This is the circle dot shift is a tool for understanding oneself relative to situation more clearly and then moving into an action phase swiftly. And the way we do that is you choose one of these circles that represents yourself relative to your current situation. So is there uh, is there something for you that comes top of mind, Marilyn, that you could think of that's like a real situation that's important to you that you'd be willing to share?
Um, Professionally or personally, or doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yes. Um, I'm a strategic person. I'm not real good. I'm good. I'm better at strategic than tactical. And right now, I want to look at putting some very simple systems in place to take my professional speaking to the next level.
Okay.
Kind of struggling with that.
Okay. Gotcha. So simple systems
Mhm.
related to speaking. Got it. Okay. So which one of these five circles, we have a dot in the middle, a dot on the right of an empty circle, a dot on the left of an empty circle, and a full circle. Which one of these five circles best represents where you are relative to that situation of finding and implementing these systems for public speaking?
So with the dots in, if I was inside, okay, I'm going to say I'm outside of a circle and understanding getting a system. I don't know what left or right would mean, but I'll go with left.
Okay.
I'm outside the left circle.
Got it. And why does that represent where you are with this situation right now?
I think because I have an idea of what I have an idea of probably what I need. It's a matter of starting it, meaning I want to go simple. I don't want anything big, this big grand thing. I want to take out step by step. Dave, let's look at that. So I'm outside the circle. I know I need systems, but I'm struggling with step one, step two, step three to get a simple system implemented.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Great. And which one of these circles best represents where you want to be relative to the situation?
I like to be with the one on the bottom, the full circle.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
It just feels that that one seems complete.
Hmm. Okay. What else?
It seems like not only is it complete, but it's up and running.
Okay. And are you familiar with the feeling of having something complete and up and running?
Yes.
What's that like?
Um, it's a good feeling. For me, it's a comfortable, happy, warm space, but it's a
Hmm.
comfortable space for me. It's like the mojo's working.
Hmm. Awesome. Okay. So we're here. We want to get here.
Hmm.
It's in between is your agency. So everything at your disposal that you get to choose to do if you want to try out closing that gap.
Hmm.
So what we could explore in terms of agency is skills you have that you could deploy, resources that you have that you could deploy or you could expand, um, people in your orbit who, given a conversation or two or several, could close the gap here for you. It's maybe it's a mindset shift from whatever is keeping you here with the dot outside the circle. And also something that I really, we used this word a little bit earlier to expand, uh, how fascinating that you didn't necessarily choose to go from here to here,
Oh,
right? In the
right.
middle, or from here to here, where the dot is beyond. It's this fullness feeling of
Right.
being in it and comfortable and that warm, happy, I'm doing it, the mojo is here feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you've already articulated is a familiar one, right?
Hmm.
So you're capable of getting from where you are to where
Hmm.
you want to be. And it sounds like that on paper, it sounds like that not knowing what the next steps are may
Hmm.
be what's holding you back. But let's challenge that for just a moment. Does that feel true to you? Is that what's holding you back? Or is there something else, like a precedent to that?
I don't think it's so much not knowing as it's what should I do first, second, or third when it
Okay.
comes to the system.
So prioritization.
Prioritization,
Okay.
right.
Great. Great. Okay. And is there something that you feel like you either have an abundance of or a lack of that is contributing to this inaction so far on prioritization?
I don't think it's a lack of. I think
Okay.
it's an abundance of because I have um when I have been to a workshop that showed um these different systems that a person uses, but it's like I'm down here and they're up here. So I'm like, how do I start, granularly? All right. I don't want to do a whole bunch of big grandiose stuff. I want to start granularly with these systems. And I want to learn them as I go along because I love to learn. But
Hmm.
what's the first really basic system that I need to think about? You know what I'm saying? What's the second one? I have, so that's kind of where I'm at as far as someone helping me. I do have people to help me once it's figured out that can help, that's more tactical. I'm one that doesn't have to do, but have to understand.
Okay. Okay. So what's it going to take in terms of actions in your control?
Hmm.
Better understand what you need to prioritize.
Well, I know research is one. I mean, research is a given.
All
Um,
right.
I do have, I did, I had some suggestions that were given to me of certain systems, but my evaluation of those, perfect example is a CRM. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So in a CRM, how robust or simple does it need to be for me?
All
You
right.
know,
So that's a
because
question you have.
that's a question that I have, right? And then what would be the right one for me? One that I could grow into. It's sort of like, you see what I mean? And then
Yeah.
why do I need it? I could do it on paper, pen and paper, but it may be necessary. The tracking, that technical track stuff,
Yeah.
that's what I have a person to do for me, EA.
Mhm.
So this was something that I kind of picked up from the workshop that I went to. I want to get away from doing tasks that are not revenue generating. So that's kind of where these systems come in place, that there's systems that I can hand off or tasks that I can hand off that aren't revenue generating.
Yep. Okay, so the uh what I'm hearing is that where you are right now is a moment of indecision due to a lack of clarity on the next step. The not so much the next step, but the choice you could make to take the next step with the system.
Hmm.
Yeah. But given everything that you've said you're good at and you want to do and you like to do, let's challenge this here in this moment right now.
Okay.
Is there a choice you are willing to make out of your own agency
Hmm.
to get one step closer to full? Not in an abstract way, but in a very concrete way. Like by, by next Tuesday at 4 p.m., you will have completed blank relative to learning, research, and prioritization.
Yeah, there's one thing that I think my struggle, Dave, is which is from a research perspective, which is the first one that you need to start this off?
And
Do I?
would you be willing to accept the possibility that there are a variety of different answers to that question
Hmm.
based on who you ask?
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I would say
therefore,
that.
yeah,
But
so therefore, might you have to choose to,
yeah, I'd have to choose. You're right. I would have to choose. So, in looking at the systems that were talked about, I would have to make the decision of which one to choose.
yeah, yeah, yep.
So there's the key.
And would you be willing to accept the possibility that uh, all outcomes of deciding could
Hmm.
be informative outcomes?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. Knowledge, I mean, I'm all about knowledge. So
Okay.
learning is my thing. So I don't think there's anything that you learn that probably is going to go to waste. So I don't have a problem with that. I
Okay.
think what I may need to do is, because I do have an EA, and so I think I need to maybe pull her in a little more
Okay.
as in that decision making, because she's going to be the tactical more than what I'm handling it. So I think that that's a step right there, is bringing her in a little more and say, hey, I want to run this past you. What do you think? Because you'll be working with it.
Love it. Beautiful. Okay. And when would you do that? When would you be willing to have that conversation?
Well, we talked this past week, and I was trying to we talked this past week about it, and she's excited about it. What I wanted to do, I left my meeting, I wanted to reach out to someone that does have these systems already in place and see if they would be willing to do a meet with the
Hmm.
two of us,
Yep.
because I wanted her involved, the EA involved. So I was kind of waiting to hear back on that, if they were going to be willing. Now, if they're not going to be willing, then I think it's just going to be a brainstorming session with me and the EA. They have had previous years of working in the background, or doing the admin stuff for speakers, but it's been some years. So they admit they're rusty. She's rusty. It's been some years. I don't know what has changed, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Okay.
But it's not like it would be a big learning curve for her once the system is decided, because she
Okay.
kind of knows the process. It's
Okay.
just deciding on the systems.
Well, I think you have also tapped into a leverage point with her being available to you, because if she's going to have a learning curve because she doesn't know anything about it, but she knows more than you about it, then you would absolutely also have a learning curve. But that learning curve does not sound like it falls neatly underneath no more non-revenue generating activities. So it stands to reason that including her early,
Right.
explain to her why it's important, why you are including her, not just, hey, we need to get this figured out, but
Yeah.
hey, I'm stuck and I don't want to be anymore.
Right.
And you can help me get unstuck. And when you help me get unstuck, you create more opportunities for yourself to continue working with me. You
Yeah.
create more opportunities for yourself to learn new tools and systems. We're all we're all moving now. We're out of that like parked and into second or third gear now.
Right. Right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. So that's what's going to be happening over the summer for me, kind of getting that jumped off. That's my kind of project for the summer.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you for
Right.
that, Dave. That was nice.
You're welcome. So there's one more piece here. One more
Okay.
piece, which
Okay.
is this. You so uh, uh, saliently described what this fullness feeling can be for you and has been in the past. That warm, happy, mojo is working feeling. Um, you daily or perhaps weekly, you have the opportunity to check in with how close am I to this feeling with regard to this situation.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
if you are not as close to it as you want to be, then lean into this process again of, okay, I want X. It will feel like this when I accomplish it. I have this array of choices and gifts at my disposal. Which one do I want to use? It's
Hmm.
like what we just did there to close this gap was like, Marilyn, which of your virtues do you want to use?
Yeah.
Because you get to choose.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. That was fun. I liked that. I enjoyed that, Dave.
Good. Great. Great.
That,
Great.
that was unexpected, but that was great. You want to send me a picture of that?
Yeah. Let's get,
You're
let's
done?
look at a picture of it right now, too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Dave, for taking time to, talk with me today. This has been great and fun, and I learned a little something about myself and what I need to do as far as kind of moving that professional speaking. I do do conferences, but I really want to jump more into keynotes,
Yeah. Okay.
doing more keynotes. So that's kind of where I want the speaking business to kind of go. So that's why this was helpful. Doing this
Beautiful.
little exercise was helpful.
Good.
So, okay. Well, I'll let you go. Have a good weekend. Thank you for everything, and I'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Have a
All
great
right.
weekend and
All right.
look forward to this was the start. Well, I suppose a couple of months ago when we first chatted was the start, but consider this the start of a conversation that doesn't have to end, rather
Okay,
than the end of a
wonderful.
conversation that we just had for an hour.
Okay, wonderful. I love that day. Thanks
Yeah.
so much. Okay, see you
See ya.
later.